Game of Thrones trailer, Superfans predict Season 8. Winter, for Game of Thrones fans, has terrible connotations. But they woke up on a cold Monday morning in January to something good, a teaser trailer for the show's final series. It's been a long time coming. Season 7 aired in the UK 2 years ago, and spoiler alert given how that ended, it didn't look like the people of Westeros had anything to look forward to in Season 8. But fans definitely do, and warning again, there are spoilers for Season 7 of Game of Thrones below. The teaser didn't really tell us anything we didn't already know about Season 8, but at this point, superfan George Alexander doesn't care. We've waited so long since the last season for this to come, anything they give us is gold, he tells Radio 1 Newsbeat. George watches every Game of Thrones episode 3 or 4 times, recording his initial reactions for his YouTube channel and then providing analysis. So you can imagine he's pored over every single second of the first glimpse at Game of Thrones since 2017. The trailer shows Jon Snow stood next to sisters Arya and Sansa Stark in the crypt below Winterfell where all their relatives are buried. It's the first time Jon and Arya have been seen together since Season 1, and although this isn't footage from Season 8, George thinks those two will play a big part in the final season. I think that's going to be a big part of it, to see how he reacts to how she's changed over time, he says. That's not all George thinks. I think Daenerys is going to find herself pregnant with a little Targaryen, he says. It was alluded to a lot in Season 7, she was mentioning to Jon that she couldn't have children. I think we're going to find that maybe, because they're both of Targaryen blood, that it has the power to create another Targaryen. Looking death in the eye, a lot of the excitement from the teaser trailer comes at the moment when ice begins to spread its way through the crypt as Jon, Arya and Sansa gaze upon statues of their own faces. There's clearly a lot there about having to look death in the eye and face it head on, TV writer and Game of Thrones superfan Chris Mandel tells Radio 1 Newsbeat. We saw in the Season 7 finale that the wall has been breached. The White Walkers are on their way, so it's clear that they're going to have to pull together and crack on basically. Both Chris and George think the Night King will be killed and his White Walkers will be defeated, which is surely a good thing for Jon Snow and his family, right? George doesn't think so. I've got thousands of theories. They're all probably awful, he says. My theory is that Jon will insert dragonglass into himself and he'll become the new Night King. He will in fact be the king in the north, but not the one that we wanted. Chris thinks Season 8 will end less controversially. Part of me feels like what we can expect is the invasion is going to take up the first half of the season. We'll see them taking on the White Walkers, and whoever survives that will then have to go south and deal with Cersei. I think she's actually the big villain in all of this. How will it all end? Cersei currently sits on the Iron Throne, and neither her nor her brother Jaime are included in the trailer. Daenerys is another one who's absent and, despite her being George's favorite character, he doesn't think she'll see the end of Season 8. Chris says that Game of Thrones is so unlike anything else that predicting what's going to happen is nearly impossible. But there is one bit of advice he'll be following ahead of 14th of April. This is a show that's been defined by ruining people's lives and killing off people, so it only stands to reason that it's going to be quite a grim end. I'm just trying not to stay too attached to too many people in the cast.